And welcome to Crisler Center. My name is Zach Horson alongside Adam Bressler. This is another presentation of WCBN Sports, and you're listening to our coverage of your Michigan Wolverines women's basketball team against the Morgan State Lady Bears. Coming into this one, Michigan's record is 5-1, and the Lady Bears are coming in with a 3-4 record. On Wednesday the 27th, Michigan had a bounce-back win against Eastern Michigan after losing to Notre Dame in a heartbreaker before the break.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this game. Michigan has a 4-game home stretch, homestand coming up, beginning with this one. So it would be huge to come in with a win and potentially roll that into Big Ten play beginning later this month.
That's right, and after that Notre Dame loss, Michigan dropped out of the AP poll, only receiving 44 votes. So maybe after this tune-up for the Syracuse game and then the Syracuse game itself, Michigan can reclaim a spot in the top 25. As we're about to tip off your starters for the Michigan Wolverines. At point guard, Amy Dilk. Shooting guard, Akenray Johnson. Forward, Kayla Robbins, Haley Brown, and Naz Hillman. And for Morgan State, it is Ashia McCullough, Gia Chavez, Chelsea Mitchell, Danya Reed, and Desiree Morales as Michigan retains the tip. And it is Naz Hillman on left block. And she goes up, turnaround jumper, and it's good. Michigan 2-0 with 9:45 remaining in the first quarter.
Already up to a fast start. Let's see if they could hang on to this momentum.
Michigan in the all-yellow uniforms going from left to right. Morgan State in the gray uniforms with the orange and black trim going from right to left. As it is Reed now with the ball. Back out to Chavez. Chavez driving right baseline. No good. Rebound Naz Hillman. Hillman resets the ball back out to Dilk.
One thing I'm going to be looking for this game is Michigan's ability to turn over. That was a big problem against Notre Dame, and I'd say it cost them the game. It was such a nail-biter.
And as you were saying that right there, a turnover as Naz Hillman tried to feed it into Haley Brown on the low block, and too strong as the ball went out of bounds, Morgan State ball.
Michigan has been great about rebounding, especially getting big in the paint and grabbing those loose balls, but it doesn't help if you give up a steal or an errant pass when you're on offense.
And McCullough with the ball, back out to Morales. Now it's McCullough on the wing. Back out to Chavez. Chavez to Mitchell. Mitchell pulls up from the free throw line and sinks it. Michigan is tied now 2-2 with Morgan State. 8 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter. As Robbins has the ball, back out to Dilk, to Hillman on the top of the wing. Feeds into Brown. Brown up and under on the low block. No good, but gets her own board.
That was a very athletic, acrobatic move. I'm not surprised it didn't land.
And Haley Brown now with the ball. Back out to Dilk on the left wing. All alone. Shoots, fires, misses, and tries to get her own board. Bouncing around on the floor. And they're all diving on the floor. And that's a foul called, but also a jump ball. Let's see what they rule. And it's a jump ball. Morgan State basketball as Michigan got possession on the tip.
Yeah, these loose plays, you got to hang on to them. That was tough because it was after transition with the shot and the missed shot from Dilk. But if you can't be making mistakes like this if you want to come out on top. Game is tied 2 apiece with 8 minutes in the first quarter.
Jihaya Chavez, the ball at the top of the key. Amy Dilk on her. To Mitchell on the top of the key now, dribbling around, getting a screen. Back out to McCullough. McCullough driving. Mitchell, jump shot, no good. Rebound, Naz Hillman.
Michigan playing great in the paint, keeping this a low-scoring game so far.
And that is a touch foul by Morgan State. A push-off as Haley Brown was trying to drive baseline, and Michigan will take the ball out of bounds.
First foul for either team of the game. I'm curious to see how many fouls are committed by Morgan State this game.
Dilk to Johnson down low, and Johnson misses the jump shot from about 3 feet out. And as you're saying, that's a foul right there, as that's Morgan State's second of the game early on.
And I believe 2 shots from Johnson will be taken from the line. Potential to double their lead. First one's up and no good.
And Akenray Johnson in the last game against Eastern Michigan had 9 points and 9 rebounds, so almost getting on the board with a double-double. being second on the team in points scored that game, as Isabel Verja was the only one to hit double digits, and she sinks the second of 2 there as Michigan leads 3-2 with 7 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this first quarter. McCullough with the ball, back out to Chavez. Chavez for 3, and it's good from the right corner.
And with that, Morgan State takes their first lead of the game.
Michigan pushing the ball up the court, and Kayla Robbins with the layup. Layup on the left block, pass from Amy Dilk. Just like the men's team, this Michigan women's team is looking to run and gun, push the ball up the court as fast as they can. And that's a steal by Kenray Johnson. Naz Hillman retains possession with the ball. Robbins with the ball on the left wing now. Johnson, ball on the top of the key. Feeds to Naz Hillman on the low block, and that's too easy. She gets it to go. Michigan leads 7-5 now.
6 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Full court press played by Michigan. I'm kind of surprised to see that.
And they're trapping whenever the ball goes into the wing or the corner as Mitchell pulls up, and that's an air ball. But Morgan State gets possession. Mitchell goes back up and under, and it's good for 2.
With that, the game's tied again at 7. Michigan has possession, though.
Hillman with the ball on the low block and goes up, and it's good, but there was a foul called prior to the shot. It's going to be on the floor. Michigan is tied with Morgan State early on, 7-7, with 6 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in this first half.
Yeah, if I'm Michigan, looking pretty good, seem to have some good shot selection. Defense isn't doing too great, giving up 7 points already against Morgan State.
Yes, both teams shooting well early on. And Kenray Johnson has the ball in the right wing. Screen from Haley Brown, back up to Hillman. Hillman finds Dilk down low, and it's good. Michigan leads 9-7, 6 minutes remaining in this first quarter.
Incredible maneuvering by Dilk, perfect placement. And looks like more full court press being played.
And Mitchell pass out to Scarpana, who misses from the left corner. And it is Johnson with the rebound, back out to Dilk on the right wing. Dilk weaving through the defense, goes up, misses, and that rebound is tapped out to Mitchell. Morgan State pushing the ball down the court. And that was Chavez who almost lost it, but Mitchell was able to get possession of the ball. Morgan State with the ball on the right wing. Their best player, Red, has the ball, weaving through the defense, goes up and not able to convert the basket, but gets fouled, going for 2. She will go to the line, shooting 2. And as I mentioned, that was Red, Danye Red, Morgan State's best player, standing at 5'11". She's a redshirt junior from Darby, Pennsylvania, and she leads the team in points per game with 16, along with the 7 rebounds.
Yeah, absolutely. With these 2 shots, Morgan State has a chance to tie it at 9. That's the first foul of the game on Michigan, first team foul awarded to Dilk. First shot is up, and it's good. So it's now a 9-8 game with 5 minutes, 24 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
And Danye Red getting ready to shoot her second of 2 and sinks it. Game is tied now at 9 with 5 minutes and 24 seconds remaining, and Morgan State now is trapping as we have a sub as Priscilla Smingi comes in the game for Michigan, and Isabel Verja checking in. And Smingi walked there as she tried to drive on the right wing to the right block, but she walked, and it is now Morgan State basketball.
That change of defensive game plan, very effective for Morgan State. Able to force sloppy play by Michigan and regain possession.
Chavez with the ball on the left wing. Down low, jump shot is good for Morgan State as Morgan State takes the early lead, 11-9.
Yeah, second lead of the game for Morgan State. Last time they took the lead, Michigan was able to fire right back, though, with a layup.
And that's a 3-second call on Naz Hillman as we have another sub, Danielle Rausch, coming in for Amy Dilk. And Kim Barnes-Zarico is not happy with this guard play early on as she made some quick changes with Smingi coming in for Haley Brown, and then we have Dilk coming out for Danielle Rausch, who doesn't really play that much, but did did get in the game for 16 minutes in their last game, only contributing 2 points, but she'd have 2 steals and 1 assist, and it was her most minutes of the season. So maybe she's starting to, maybe Kim Barnes-Rico is starting to ramp up her playing time. And also she does have a game against Syracuse on Thursday, and she's from Syracuse. That is Danielle Rausch. So that's going to be a fun game for her, knowing some people there. And
some bad blood possibly.
Possibly.
Yeah, it's going to be here in the Crisler Center, so she won't be traveling home. But you're probably right that maybe some family might travel with the Syracuse team, come out and see her. Morgan State and Michigan do not have that much of a history together. They've only played one time prior to today's game, and that was a home game last season where Michigan beat Morgan State 70-47. That was actually last December, almost exactly a year ago today. But maybe the start of a new rivalry if this keeps going 2 seasons in a row.
Yeah, well, Michigan came out victorious in that last game, but early on here they're down 11-9, which is a bit surprising, as Morgan State is 3-4 on the year with a 1-4 record on the road. And last season they didn't have that great of a year at all, going 10-21 with an 8-8 record in the conference play in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. So definitely not Power 5.
Yeah.
And that's good for a 6th place finish. So not really a powerhouse, not something you would expect, not a team you would expect to take on this Michigan Wolverines team in a close game.
Sure. And I understand, like, it's early in the season, get some kinks out. They've had a bit of a break with Thanksgiving, so get back into that routine. And it's tough with a 4-game homestand. As you mentioned, they're playing Morgan State today, Syracuse later this week, Oakland next week, and then Appalachian State right before finals on the 14th. All of those at home.
And the press is back as Morgan State has the ball dribbling up the court, and they lose it. A self-inflicted wound there as Priscilla Smeagy was in the area, but not really pressuring the ball handler or the person receiving that pass, as Michigan regains possession now. And it's Verjao with the ball on top of the key, guarded closely by Scarpina.
Yeah, and it looks
Rausch down to Verjao, who has 3 defenders on her. Back out to Rausch on the right wing. Hillman top of the key. Looking for Verjao. Back out to Rausch. Now to Verjao on the low block, and she throws an errant pass intercepted by Mitchell.
Yeah, it looks like Morgan State's back to the man-to-man defense. Looks like they made some adjustments of their own at that timeout.
Chavez to Mitchell on the left wing. Priscilla Smeagy on her. Michigan now in a 2-3 defense. Mitchell getting the ball, weaving through the defense, goes up. Runner is good over Verjao's outstretched arms. Morgan State leads 13-9, 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in this first quarter.
And I believe that's the biggest lead for either team of the game, the 4-point difference.
Yes, Michigan led early on 4-0. They led by 2 early on, so you're correct. Their largest run was 4-0, and Morgan State leads 13-9, which is in fact the largest lead of the game.
Yeah, Morgan State right now, they have a 6-0 run over the past 1 minute 38 seconds of game time. Michigan's just playing sloppy and can't seem to find the basket.
And Verjao missed the turnaround jumper from the right block, but it went out of bounds off of Mitchell of Morgan State. So Danielle Rausch will take the ball out of bounds for Michigan. And Michigan, you said Morgan State's on the 6-0 run over the last 1 minute and 52 seconds, and that's aided by Michigan's 3 turnovers in that span and not scoring over the last 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Now Verjao with the ball, turnaround, pass out, Seedor with the ball. Hillman, left block, turnaround, jumper, no good, fading away, and that's off the outstretched arms of Kayla Robbins. Morgan State basketball.
Yeah, those shots you got to land. It's tough with this defense, but if you want to crack into that deficit with Michigan trailing 13-9 with 3 minutes remaining in the first.
And McCullough with the ball, top of the key, back out to Chavez. Now in the corner is Searcy. Searcy back out to McCullough. McCullough blocked by Robbins. Robbins with the ball on her own, dribbling down the court, and it's good. Left-hand layup on the left block. Michigan now is down 13-11, 2 minutes, 40 seconds remaining.
That's exactly the electric play Michigan needed to regain the momentum and get the home crowd going.
Morgan State basketball on the right wing is Chavez. Chavez guarded by Sidor. Back out to the left wing, McCullough. McCullough jumper is good. Scratch that. That was Red. Red with the jumper from the free throw line, and Morgan State leads 15-11. Naz Hillman with the ball on the low block, looking for the foul, but doesn't get gotten. But none is called. Excuse me. And she missed the layup, but gets the rebound on the other end. As Sidor with the ball, and she's all alone now. Backs out. Roush with the ball on the right wing.
Yeah, Michigan has 2 players at half court looking to sub in. We got Emily Kaiser and Maddie Nolan.
Maddie Nolan doesn't really get in the game much, so it's interesting to see her coming in.
Yeah, she's averaging only half a point per game and half a rebound a game. She's seen action in only 4 games this season, but looks like she gets some chance right now.
Yeah, she plays sparingly. She got in for a few minutes against Eastern Michigan, but she's definitely not a regular, whereas Emily Kaiser, the other player coming in, does get time as the third-string center. And Naz Hillman just threw that ball away as Michigan's playing pretty sloppily right now with 5 early turnovers, and Morgan State leads 15-11 with 1:35 remaining. Again, this is Zach Corson calling with Adam Bressler from the Crisler Center.
Yeah, so far in this game, Michigan has 5 turnovers committed compared to Morgan State's 2. That's a game changer right there.
And it's Henson with the ball, top of the key, calling out a play with Sidor, guarding her. Henson, that is, with the ball on the logo, not a threat from there. Dribbling on the right side, runner is no good, and Verjao with the rebound. That's Kaiser. Kaiser subbed in for Verjao, and that's a foul called on Morgan State, their 4th so far.
Yeah, that does seem to be Morgan State's one struggling point today is a foul. Already has 4 committed in this quarter, so it's not crucial, but it is something to keep an eye on as this game progresses.
And tack on another there. That's their 5th, as Maddie Nolan had the ball and was swarmed by the defense, double-teamed, but they were hacking away at her. So it is Michigan basketball now, and they are in the bonus with 5 fouls on Morgan State. So Maddie Nolan will go to the line for 2.
Yeah, this could be interesting to see if this bonus helps them cut into this deficit that they have right now. 2 shots from the line awaiting us from Maddie Nolan.
And she sinks the first as it rattles in. Michigan now is down 15-12 with just over a minute remaining.
Second shot is awaiting us. It's up. And it's good.
Maddie Nolan, the freshman from Zionsville, Indiana, is the 3rd freshman, not really talked about that much behind Isabel Verjao and Rochelle Sidor, but she was highly recruited on her own. And Morgan State tried to pass it to another player, but it is out of bounds off of Michigan, so they will retain possession. As I was saying, Maddie Nolan, the freshman from Zionsville, Indiana, was an Indiana All-Star and helped her high school to the state championship in 2018. But hasn't gotten much run here at Michigan, which may be starting to change.
Yeah, especially after making both of those free throws. Helping narrow this game.
Chavez with the ball on the right wing, back out to Red. Red cross-court pass to Demeza, excuse me. And Demeza missed the 3, tracked down and out of bounds. Morgan State was touching it out of bounds as they dove on the floor. It is Michigan basketball as they can look to tie up this game with the last possession, down 15-13, 27 seconds remaining.
Yep, so no shot clock on this one. Potentially even take the lead with a 3.
2 to tie, 3 to win. Not win, lead, excuse me. And Maddie Nolan with the ball on the right wing. She's double-teamed, trapped, and that's a jump ball, but it'll be Michigan basketball as Michigan won the tip. Morgan State got the jump ball after that, and now it is the 2nd jump ball of the game, so Michigan will retain possession with 15 seconds left on the game clock. And that's a foul. Haley Brown was looking to get the inbounds pass, but Danye Red fouled her on the inbounds pass, so she will go to the line for 2.
Chance to tie it here, too, as well.
Yes, looking to get on the board as she is 0 for 1 on the day from the field, and is coming off one of her worst games as a Michigan Wolverine. She went 0 of 6 from the field with 2 rebounds, accounting for 0 points against Eastern Michigan, as she knocked in her first free throw there, making it a 15-14 game, and she looks to tie it up here, and she does. 15 all with 14.7 seconds remaining, and Michigan's pressing Mitchell with the ball from Morgan State. Chavez dribbling down the sideline, goes up for 2, and that's going to be called a blocking foul on Danielle Roush as she was looking to take the charge, but was not successful.
Yeah, Michigan looking great from the line tonight, or this afternoon. 5 for 6. It was a struggling point earlier in the season, but it's good to see them get off to a good start from the line.
And Jihaya Chavez from the line, missing the first of 2, the 5'7" senior from Newark, New Jersey. She played in all 31 games last year for Morgan State, starting in 31, averaging 9 points per game. And this season, she is leading the team in assists per game with 3. And she misses the second of 2 there. And it is Cedor with the ball. That is Roush with the ball back out to Cedor. Cedor misses the 3 as time expires. And that'll be the end of the quarter. Something maybe no one saw coming, a tie at the end of the first quarter. Michigan 15, Morgan State 15.
Still have 30 minutes of play ahead of us, and Michigan certainly has the momentum. Morgan State has a drought of 2 minutes and 20 seconds of scoring in the last 2 minutes, 20 seconds of game clock. But what do you think the head coach is saying right now to the Michigan team at this intermission?
Well, I think that they're getting good looks, and they're going to the line at a high rate. They're 5 of 6 from the line. They're out-rebounding Morgan State, which is always a good sign, up 10-5 in that category. But 2 things that I really think that Kim Barnes-Rico is telling this Michigan team. 1, limit the turnovers. That is key to be able to win this game. They're fortunate to be tied right now with 5 early turnovers to Morgan State's 2. And second, they're only hitting 41.7% of their shots. So I would say what I'm seeing early on is Naz Hillman kind of rushing it and Amy Dilk rushing it when they get down low. Just calm down. When you get the ball, just position yourself. Take a second. You don't have to rush out the shot. You don't have to, right as you get the ball, go straight up. You can square your feet and go up and possibly get fouled, which Michigan's doing a good job of today. So I think this is a good base to go off of, especially being tied 15-15. But it can only go up from here, and I think this is going to be fun to watch.
I'm really concerned, too, because with the amount of turnovers they're committing, both today and last week against Notre Dame, it's fine. You could possibly win against teams like Morgan State, team like Akron, Bradley, Eastern Michigan, Kent State. You could beat those types of teams despite committing these turnovers. But once we get into Big Ten play on December 28th, it's not going to cut it. You're going to have to make a change, going to have to really crack down on the sloppy play. And if you want to win in the Big Ten, which I think they have a chance to do so, they got to crack down on these turnovers. And it's fortunate that they have these out-of-conference games to begin the season.
Yes, this is as I said before, this is a little bit of a tune-up, some may say, for the big Syracuse game, or it was supposed to be big when they scheduled it, with Syracuse as a perennial top 25 team. But they are coming off of a 2-loss week, losing in overtime yesterday, and then losing earlier this week. They were number 18 in the top 25, but they could easily drop out. So it will be another good game, but not a top 25 matchup as Michigan thought when they scheduled this.
Yeah, but it's going to be at home. I'm sure a lot of fans are going to come out to that one. Syracuse is such a big name. A lot of students, I would imagine, as well.
Morgan State inbounds it. Chavez down low. and it's turned over. Michigan gets possession as Dilk poked the ball loose and gets possession. Pushing the ball down the court is a Kenray Johnson. Back out to Dilk. Dilk tries to feed it to Haley Brown, but that's the 6th turnover of the day for Michigan. Mitchell back out to Chavez. Chavez looking for Reed. Reed dribbling baseline, guarded by Haley Brown. Turnaround and back out to Chavez. Chavez no good from the left block, and it is Robbins with the rebound.
And Michigan having the chance to get their first lead since midway through the first quarter.
And that was a Kenray Johnson with the ball dribbling back and forth at the top of the key. And a common theme in the first quarter was the fouls by Morgan State, bringing Michigan to the line in the bonus 3 times. And again, an early foul called here. As the fouls reset, that's going to be the first of the quarter for Morgan State. Amy Dilk passes into Kenray Johnson. Kenray Johnson turns the ball over, the 7th of the day for Michigan. She was looking for Naz Hillman on the low block.
Yeah, Morgan State.
Naz Hillman getting her hands in the passing lane, but Mitchell's able to get the ball for Morgan State, and she goes up, and that's a blocking foul called on Haley Brown. That's going to be her first of the day. Michigan's 3rd total foul of the day, the 1st of the quarter. And it's going to be Mitchell going to the line for 2. Ashia Mitchell, the 5'6" guard from Greenbelt, Maryland, a sophomore, is 2nd on the team in scoring with just over 12 points a game as she makes the first of 2 there. And it's Morgan State leading Michigan now 16-15 with 8 minutes and 56 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Yeah, and with that, Morgan State gets her first points in over 3 minutes of game time.
And Dilk was trying to split the defense there, but turns the ball over, and Mitchell goes up for 2 and no good. Haley Brown with the rebound now. Dilk with the ball on the right sideline, right wing now. Back out to Kenray Johnson. Kenray Johnson driving baseline. She's fouled.
Yeah, it's only been.
That's going to be on the floor.
Only been a minute and some change in this quarter, and 3 fouls combined between the 2 teams.
Amy Dilk coming out with Danielle Roush substituting in for her. Roush taking the ball out, looking for someone to pass to. Kenray Johnson fakes it, goes up, and it's good from the left block. Michigan ties it up 17-all, 8 minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
A beautiful move right there, too. Michigan worked hard to tie this game up.
Mitchell with the ball, back out to Chavez. Chavez to McCullough, back to Mitchell. Excuse me, that's Chavez with the ball, top of the key. Back out to Red. Red on the left wing, guarded by Hillman. Wrap around to Chavez. Chavez from the free throw line, and no good. Robbins with the rebound. Roush pushing the ball up the floor on the left wing. Wrapping around the defense is Johnson with the ball on the right wing. Looking for Naz Hillman, and that's a turnover as she was trying to feed. That's Haley Brown on the low block, but it's a turnover as Morgan State has the ball. And Skripina with the ball on the left wing. Now she's at the top of the key. Back out to Chavez. Chavez with the ball on the right wing, guarded by Roush. And she's looking for Red, and that's a charge on Red as Kayla Robbins just stood in there anticipating the pass down the low block as Red was going to turn around and go for the jumper, but Kayla Robbins was standing right there and just absorbed the contact, drawing the charge. That's going to be Danielle Red's 2nd personal of the day.
And we have a timeout on Morgan State. First timeout taken by either team. There was a media timeout earlier today, though. So Michigan seems to be playing a little bit better, drawing 3 fouls already. That could become crucial towards the end of the half, possibly get them in the bonus early and then rack up the points.
Yes, and the turnovers have kept coming for Michigan here so far, but a positive I can take out of the early second quarter is the fouls that they've drawn, with 3 early on from Morgan State, and also the improved shooting. They are, well, a small sample size, 1 of 1 from the field, but still got it to go.
Yeah, that seemed to be 2 bright spots for Michigan. They're having trouble with the turnovers. still doing so. They have 9 committed already this game, which is atrocious. But their rebounds have been great, and they've been very good about limiting the fouls as well. So definitely some bright spots with this team. If they could just crack down on these transition plays, these turnovers, this passing, could make a huge difference on the scoreboard and in the box score in the stat sheet.
So at the helm for Morgan State is Ed Davis Jr., and he's actually the interim coach, as he's in his first season as the interim coach at Morgan State and his 5th in the Lady Bears program overall after spending the previous 4 seasons as an assistant there. And he brings more than 20 years of experience, and he joined the Lady Bears program after spending 12 seasons as the head coach at Delaware State. So he's looking to kind of right the ship here, as Morgan State, as I said prior, they had a 10-21 record last year, not doing too well, but they are getting a good player back in Chelsea Mitchell, and we've called her name out a lot today. And she was a freshman and sophomore playing at Morgan State, but then she went to Lander, a D2 school, her junior year, and transferred back to Morgan State and sat out last year, and now with the team again this year, averaging 12 points and 9 rebounds. So
that's pretty interesting. You usually don't see that. Like once a player transfers away, especially to a lower division, to have them come back up to a D1 place.
Yeah.
It's almost unheard of.
Yeah, so Morgan State's retooling a little bit for this year, trying to get back on track. And we're back from the break. Naz Hillman with the ball top of the key. Roush, right wing. Back out to Maddie Nolan. Now Robbins driving baseline, no good. Rebound, Morgan State.
And Michigan has yet to take the lead since 6 minutes into the game. So it's been quite a while.
It has been. With 7 minutes remaining now, it's all tied up at 17. And that was a Morgan State player looking for Danye Red, but turning it over. Danielle Roush pushing the ball up the court. Haley Brown feeding Naz Hillman down low. Hillman fouled and one.
Incredible play by Hillman.
And Michigan now takes the lead 19-17 with Hillman going to the line for one more. And that's some added scoring coming off the bench as Michelle Sedor coming in for Kayla Robbins.
Yeah, Hillman has yet to travel to the line this game, but the team as a whole is looking very great. They have 5 from 6 with an 83.3 percentage.
And that's something that killed them in that Notre Dame game.
Oh, yeah.
It was a killer, man. They shot around 50% from the line, leaving about 10 points on the board, and they lost by 4 or 5.
Exactly.
So it was easily that game they could have easily had.
Against Notre Dame, they were great about drawing fouls, great at getting those rebounds and those second chance shots. Just once they got to the line with those fouls, they couldn't capitalize on it.
Yeah. And that was Danye Red with the ball with an acrobatic move, getting the and one to go. And she will go to the line to convert the 3-point play. As Isabel Verjao coming in for Haley Brown. Some height for this Michigan team. Isabel Verjao standing at 6'4", and she'll say she's 6'5". And the tallest player on this Morgan State team is only 6'1". As Danye Red missed the free throw there. And Michigan has the Twin Towers in now with Naz Hillman and Isabel Verjao. Hillman standing at 6'2", Verjao 6'4". So Michigan's going to look to capitalize on this length. And Maddie Nolan with the ball feeding Naz Hillman down low. Back out to Roush, top of the key. Verjao is all alone down low, and they get it to her. Turnaround jumper is good.
That was incredible ball movement. Brought it in, brought the defense inside to the paint, sent it outside, and then they got an open lane in the middle, and it left Verjao some space to get that layup. Beautiful ball movement.
Michigan leads 22-19 with 6 minutes left. Mitchell with the ball top of the key. Back out to Chavez on the left wing. Chavez guarded by Rouse, trying to poke the ball loose, clapping. And Red has the ball, falling to the floor, and it pops right into Danielle Roush's hands. And she turns the ball over. That's a kick ball on Danielle Roush, and it's going to be Morgan State basketball.
Yeah, that's rough to give that up, but might actually be a blessing in disguise. Morgan State had almost a fast break there, so it gives the defense some time to adjust and get
into position.
Get in position, exactly.
And McCullough, haven't called her name out a lot today, She has the ball top of the key. Now it's Chavez, back out to McCullough. Mitchell with the ball, back out to Henson. Henson with the ball on the left wing, back out to Henson. I'm sorry, Searcy. Now back to Mitchell. Searcy with the ball, pump fake, driving, right sideline, no good. Mitchell with the rebound, and she's going to clear the ball back out.
Yeah, Michaela drove straight down the lane, but she just couldn't connect on that shot. The defense didn't do much to get in her way.
Henson with the ball on the right wing. Back out to Searcy for three from the left wing, and that is an air ball out of bounds. Foul called on Morgan State on the loose ball, trying to get the rebound with Mitchell crashing into Danielle Roush, and it's going to be Michigan basketball. And the next foul, nope, this foul, Michigan is now in the bonus.
Already, wow. Just under 5 minutes left in the half. This could really push this game away.
Michigan leads 22-19, looking to extend their lead here with Maddie Nolan going to the line for two.
She's 2 for 2 from the line today.
And the first is good. 3 of 3 make it now.
Yeah, and the team as a whole, 7 from 8. That's incredible. Different team than what we saw last Saturday against Notre Dame.
Yep, cannot complain with that. And she missed the second with Red getting the rebound from Morgan State.
Still a respectable 7 for 9 from the line, though.
And Morgan State pull-up jumper from the free throw line is no good. Naz Hillman with the rebound. Danielle Roush with the ball in the left wing. Naz Hillman top of the key, feeding Isabel Verjao, but it'll go out of bounds off of Morgan State's Mitchell. Michigan basketball.
Yeah, Michigan gonna get another scoring shot. Up 23-19. They've done a great job limiting Morgan State scoring this quarter.
Roush to Sidor on the right wing, trying to make something happen, dribbling through her legs, and it's a jump shot, no good for Sidor, and Red with the rebound from Morgan State. Morgan State down by 4 with 4:20 left in this second quarter. Keeping it close. It's quite the game here so far.
Yeah, it is. Michigan's beginning to pull away, but certainly anyone's game. Far from over. We got another half and change left to play.
Henson with the ball, getting the screen from Red on the right wing. Back up to Searcy. Now back to Henson. Henson left wing. Back to McCullough. McCullough's good from 3 from the left wing, making it a one-point game. That is. Michigan pushing the ball up the court. Maddie Nolan feeding Naz Hillman down low. Naz Hillman wrapping around the defense, going out and missing, and trying to get her own board, but she's unsuccessful as Morgan State gets the ball, but it'll be a jump ball. And Michigan basketball as Morgan State started this second quarter with the ball.
Yeah, Michigan has a 1-point lead. They've done a good job scoring this quarter, but most of that has come from the line. It's been 2 minutes, 33 seconds of game time since they've made any point from the field, and that was a layup by Verjao.
But that hasn't been so killer for this Michigan team because they're in the bonus and getting points from the line.
Yeah,
so.
And I think that's almost complementary of each other. Like, they're not scoring because they are drawing these fouls and going to the line.
As you say that was a Kenray Johnson driving from the right wing to the left block, going for the layup and missing, but getting fouled. And so she will go to the line for 2.
Yeah.
Michigan's 10th and 11th attempts of the day so far early on.
And it would be one thing if Michigan was struggling from the line, but today at least, they don't seem to be doing so. They're 7 for 9 on the afternoon.
Quite respectable. And Kenray Johnson, nothing but net on the first one,
8 for 10.
Extending this lead for Michigan to 2 points with 3 minutes and 33 seconds left
in the first half.
And the second is good, as Kenray Johnson now has 5 points on the day, making 1 of 1 from the field and 3 of 4 from the line. And that's a steal for Naz Hillman, and another foul called on Morgan State, a blocking foul. And Naz will go to the line as she's limping, walking off the injury there, and she looks to be okay, but grimacing a little bit.
Yeah. And another trip to the line for Michigan. potentially to extend their lead even further.
And Hillman did hurt that ankle in that game against Notre Dame, having to go to the bench for a little bit. And she's wincing here, not really putting much pressure on it at the line. She looks to be okay now as she's in her routine, bouncing back and forth on her feet. Makes the first of two. And it looks like Emily Kaiser is at the scorer's table and is going to come in for Naz Hillman if Naz Hillman makes the second of two right here. And it's up and it's good, and that is indeed what's going to happen as Hillman's able to jog off, not really favoring anything. So she looks to be okay with Emily Kaiser now coming in the game.
That's impressive to be possibly injured and stay calm and composed and make two shots when your team needs it.
Morgan State breaks the press, and Reg pulls up, no good, but she gets her own board as Morgan State with the basketball now down low. And it is Michigan basketball as Danye Red went out of bounds.
Yep.
Amy Dilk coming in now, the Michigan starting point guard for Danielle Rausch. Dilk hasn't done much on the day with only 2 points and not many assists. She has a few on the day, but could be contributing more in that regard.
Yeah, no doubt.
Kaiser getting the ball down low to Verjao, but Verjao is fouled. Oh, that's a foul on Verjao as Mitchell stole the ball, but Verjao wanted the ball up top as she was pointing up to the ceiling to Emily Kaiser as they were running down the court. Verjao had the height advantage over Mitchell. Mitchell sitting at 5'11", Verjao 6'4", but Kaiser threw a down low bounce pass and it was stolen by Morgan State basketball.
And Michigan's returning to this tight press. Kind of surprised to see them do it now, up by 5. I don't know, maybe hoping that Morgan State makes a mistake, especially when your team's down by this much. You're more prone to try and sloppy plays, sloppy ball movements.
Yes, looking to extend the lead a little before the half. And Morgan State not able to get the shot off as the shot clock expired. Danye Red wasn't able to see, wasn't aware of the clock, and there's now 2 minutes and 29 seconds remaining on the game clock. Michigan leads 27-25. Akenray Johnson with the ball in the left wing, cross-court pass Seedor on the right wing now. Verjao at the elbow, back out to Seedor. Baseline runner is good for Akenray Johnson on the left block.
And that's Johnson's 7th point this afternoon.
And Michigan leads now 29-22, and we're at the 2-minute warning of the second quarter.
Yeah, Michigan's really taken away. 6-0 over the last minute and a half for Michigan. And Morgan State has 5 turnovers in the last 4 minutes.
Three-pointer's no good for Chavez, but a rebound for Mitchell, and Chavez resets the ball. Chavez at the top of the key, Michigan in the 2-3 zone.
That's been pretty key for Michigan to even it up. Morgan State's committed a lot of turnovers. They have 10 already this game.
Chavez wraparound to Searcy is no good from the left short corner, and a long rebound by Michelle Seedor. Seedor back out to Dilk. Dilk to Verjao on the block. Back out to Seedor on the top of the key. Pull up jumper from the elbow is good. Splash, nothing but net. Michigan now leads by 9, their largest lead of the day, 31-22 with a minute remaining in this first half. Chavez with the ball, top of the key, resetting, calling out an offense.
Yeah, it looks like Morgan State's going to try to slow down the pace of play, regain some composure.
Searcy wrapping around Seedor and gets the ball in the bucket. Michigan now leads 31-24 with 35 seconds remaining in this first half, but there's an early foul called as Dilk will go to the line for 2, and there were 26 seconds left on the shot clock. So that's a big error by Morgan State as they're allowing Michigan to go 2 for 1 here.
Yeah, absolutely. That timing could not be worse.
And Dilk's first look is good.
That is Dilk's first attempt from the line this afternoon, and she's perfect so far. The team as a whole is looking incredible, 12 for 14.
And she misses the second, but it's a Kenray Johnson getting the board. And Dilk with the ball at the logo, guarded by Chavez, calling out an offense, trying not to get a 5-second call on her.
Yeah.
Sidor trying to cut baseline, but isn't given the ball by Dilk. 3 seconds left on the shot clock. And they're going to have to go up fast. Verjao, runner is no good, and that's a shot clock violation. Not a good possession there for Michigan offense.
No, not at all. They did draw 30 seconds off of the clock, leaving only 11 for Morgan State to potentially scavenge some points in the winning seconds, and they make a mistake.
But they turn it over,
yeah.
and Dilk with the ball, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Sidor with the ball, short corner, back out to Dilk, left corner, and no good as the time expired. Michigan will go to the half, leading 32-24 in a pretty tight game that almost nobody saw coming.
Yeah, it's definitely loosened up halfway through the second quarter, but Michigan, it's certainly anyone's game.
Yeah, something that I saw that I like from this Michigan team is the shooting, going 48% from the field and 80% from the line. In addition to their defense, only holding Morgan State to 33% from the line, and they didn't hold Morgan State to 33% from the field, and then 57% from the line. Michigan had no part in holding them to 57% from the line, but they did hold they were responsible for the poor shooting from the field by Morgan State.
Yeah, and I would imagine next half it's gonna get even worse because they're gonna switch sides. Morgan State is gonna have to shoot on the basket with a band directly behind them. I've never played collegiate basketball, but I would imagine being in a away stadium with a band directly behind the basket while you're trying to shoot these shots, I would imagine it's pretty tough.
And something that I saw that was good at the end of that second quarter was the 2-3 zone that Michigan employed really got in the heads of Morgan State and kind of messed them up as they were in a groove, but then Michigan started to run away a little, and Morgan State had 5 turnovers over the last 4 minutes. So kind of evening out that category with Michigan only having 12 turnovers, Morgan State with 11.
Yeah.
And Michigan with 7 steals, Morgan State with 6. So kind of even there, but something that's jumping off the board to me is the rebounding advantage for Michigan with 18 to Morgan State's 13.
Yeah, and to Michigan's credit as well, they've done a good job limiting these turnovers. I believe they've only committed 1 or 2 the entire second quarter, which is much better than they were doing in the first.
And also, this 8-point lead is definitely aided by the fact that Michigan was able to get in the bonus early on in both quarters there, as they're 12-15 from the line, and Morgan State only has 7 attempts on the day.
Yeah, in the first quarter, they spent about a minute in the bonus. In the second one, they spent like 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was so early.
5 solid minutes, yeah. And that was a game changer. That's when they really began to take flight, too.
It was. So in the second half, something that I would like to see from this Michigan team is just calm it down on offense. While their style is run and gun, I would say when they're in the half court, don't try to feed someone on the block if it's not there. Don't force it. Just let the offense come to you, and that'll get the turnover numbers down. But also still try to get into the low block, because that's what really gets the fouls going. That's why they were getting in the bonus. But not only getting into the low block, but also driving. Because Kenray Johnson, Haley Brown, Amy Dilk, they were all able to get to the line because they were working through the defense and making something happen on a drive.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would imagine they're going to try and keep that up for the rest of the game.
And that's going to be all for the first half here in the Crisler Center for Zach Corson and Adam Bressler. We thank you for listening as Michigan leads 32-24. In the second half, it'll be Adam Bressler back on the call with Nick Hornberg. And that is all for myself, Zach Corson. And again, you will hear Adam Bressler, but I say thank you for listening, and we will be back in about 11 minutes and 45 seconds with the return of Michigan Wolverine basketball against Morgan State. Yeah. Thank you, good afternoon, and go Blue.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan women's basketball here at Crisler Center. 2 minutes away from the start of the second half between Michigan and Morgan State. My name is Nick Hornberg, alongside, once again, Adam Bressler. Adam, a harder-fought first half than I think anybody expected, but Michigan with an 8-point lead coming out of the break.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming into this game, Michigan's back at home, playing Morgan State, who's they're not the best team that Michigan's going to face this season. Many fans, myself included, thought this would be an easy win, but that's far from the case from what we've seen so far. Michigan has begun to take off, though, halfway through the second quarter. They definitely limited their turnovers, stepped up on rebounds, and their percentage from the line is incredible. They're 12 for 15. That's a big game changer. Just last Saturday against Notre Dame, about 500 from the line, and that ended up costing them. They only lost by 4 points against Notre Dame, and those 4 points could have come from the line, but definitely beginning to take flight. For those just tuning in, Michigan is leading 32-24. And I'm curious, Nick, you traveled down the road to Eastern Michigan on Wednesday.
Yes.
How does this game compare so far to last week's game?
Well, there's already more offense through the first half. Defensively, Michigan doesn't look quite as good. I don't know if that's a function of the team they're playing or just defensive performance. Offensively, they look a lot crisper, even with the turnovers. Eastern Michigan, I'd say more than anything, is just an ugly win that they had to fight through, even though ultimately the margin was pretty comfortable.
Yeah, looking at the schedule coming up, they got this homestand beginning today with Morgan State, playing Syracuse later this week. Next weekend they got Oakland, and then 2 weeks from now they got App State. All of those are at home. Besides Syracuse, the other games shouldn't be too much of a challenge, but you never know any given day. But after that, Big Ten play starts on December 28th. That's going to be tough, especially if they can't find a way to crack down on these turnovers. Big Ten's going to take advantage of that.
Indeed. Michigan 5-1 on the season, Not unreasonable to expect by mid-December to be standing at worst 8-2.
Yeah.
With Syracuse being the big challenge, but Morgan State is going to take the ball first at the start of the second half as the tip-off winners, and then playing a rotation out on the back is McCalla to Chavis, and then into Skripkina. That's Dana Red, who leads the Bears in scoring, and a long three attempted and missed by Chavis and rebounded by Haley Brown, and she's going to give it to Amy Dilk. Running along that right wing, Michigan's point guard gives it to a Kenray Johnson at the right corner, who gives it back to Dilk. Dilk slowing it down, now going to move to the middle. Dilk turns right. Oh, ball over the top to Kayla Robbins, and cannot make the layup go, and the rebound is forced out of bounds. Morgan State will retain possession. Looked like Kayla Robbins had an easy look but could not convert.
Yeah, beautiful ball movement to Robbins, just couldn't connect on that last one.
And now it's McCollum pass stolen by Haley Brown, and Haley Brown got tangled up with McCalla, and
yeah, Michigan with another opportunity to get some points on the board right now.
Indeed, a little confusion there as the foul was assessed to Aisha McCalla, and Amy Dilk will play the inbound to Kayla Robbins. Robbins moves left with a screen from Haley Brown. Robbins goes to the baseline. Robbins goes up, and another one she can't get to go, but picks up her own rebound, misses again. Attempt number 3 cannot go. Kenray Johnson with offensive rebound number whatever finally converts the basket.
Yeah, I think third offensive rebound.
McCalla the quick drive and is fouled on the scoop, and she will have an opportunity to shoot 2 for the Bears' first points of the second half.
Yeah, McCalla, she has 4 personal fouls today. That's tough. She's definitely been a key component getting these rebounds. She had 3 points on the afternoon. Potentially more. She's going to go up for 2 right now from the line. First shot's up, and it's good. It's now 25-34. Michigan has a 9-point lead with 8 minutes 50 seconds.
Bit of an odd decision that Ed Davis is keeping McCullough in the game even with the fouls, as McCullough's second is good, and Morgan State cuts the lead back to 8 as it was at the start of the half, and a couple substitutions.
Yeah, and
Chavis and McCullough will exit the game, and now the quick inbound played to Dilk and right back to Brown, and alternating between Brown and Dilk, and a quick ball to a cherry-picking of Kenray Johnson for the easy layup. Great vision by Dilk.
Yeah, Michigan caught Morgan State sleeping and made them pay for that. 2 easy points. It's now 26-36. Michigan has a 10-point lead.
And Skripkina to the left of the middle and gives it to Henson in the game for the first time this half. And the ball kicked away, but kept alive by Henson. 10 seconds left on the shot clock for Morgan State. Henson's going to drive. Henson looking to play it back, gets it back to Mitchell. And her pass is intercepted by Naz Hillman. And Dilk, another ball over the top to Robbins, and Michigan is scoring a ton in transition as Kayla Robbins is fouled in the layup and will have an opportunity to extend Michigan's lead to 13.
Yeah, that would be an and one if she makes this. And with that, for the first time in the game, Morgan State has more turnovers than Michigan. It's 13-12. Michigan really cracked down on those turnovers in the second quarter.
8:06 left in the third quarter. The score 38-26 Michigan. Kayla Robbins, an opportunity to put it out to 39. Takes an extra second and
good.
Hits the front and back of the rim, but it does fall down. Michigan is up 13 now, and quick inbound between Mitchell and Henson. Mitchell trying to dribble out Michigan's entire team and almost loses it and recovered by Red. And a long three for Henson. That's going to hit off the front of the rim, and the rebound by Naz Hillman. Hillman takes a second before giving it off to a Kenray Johnson. That's Naz Hillman's 5th rebound. And Johnson to Kayla Robbins at the right corner. Robbins over the top to Haley Brown. Brown's going to go to the baseline, has it stolen by Henson. And now 2-on-1 fast break for Morgan State. Henson's going to slow it down, tapped away by Robbins, but Henson recovers. And Ed Davis Jr. is going to call timeout as a fast break opportunity squandered by Morgan State.
Yep, and this 13-point lead by Michigan is the largest lead for either team in the game so far. If Morgan State doesn't make any adjustments or anything, I would be afraid of this game getting out of hand for them.
As the timeout with 7.5 minutes remaining in the first half, third quarter. Michigan with a 39-26 lead. Naz Hillman up to 5 rebounds leads Michigan, and leads the whole game as well.
Yeah, got a pretty rousing student section today. It is a Sunday, though. Can't imagine too many people come out for this one.
Indeed.
Especially against a team like Morgan State. I bet you most of the student body can't even put them on a map.
Well, Ann Arbor is still sleeping off the results from the big house yesterday.
Yeah,
as
we don't need to talk about that.
A Kenray Johnson with two buckets early in the second half now leads Michigan as well as the whole field in points with 11. 4 for 4 from the field, 3 for 4 from the line. Good performance so far from the senior.
Yeah, but did you see it looks like a lot of alums who may have been in town for yesterday's game made it to today's. See a lot of people in their 4th and 5th and 6th generation, or 6th decade, in the stands. Not too many 20-year-olds, though, in this stadium, 19 and 20-year-olds.
Interesting of note, Michigan has yet to make a 3-point shot in this game. They've only attempted 3 and missed all of them, but they have been outstanding from the 3-point line, or from the free throw line, 13 for 16. And good for 81%.
Yeah, Dilk has 2 of those 3-point shots. Both of them are good looks. It's just tough about getting them to land. It's a good risk. It's like a risk reward. On the other hand, Morgan State, they attempted 8, and they've made 2 of them. So I think it's just going to be a function of time and trusting your shots. And one of those 3-point shots was right at the end of the quarter, too. So it was a buzzer beater. Didn't quite have time to set your feet, get ready. So I'm not too concerned about the 0 for 3.
And the timeout is over. Both sets of players are out on the field or on the court. Henson's going to play a quick inbound to Searcy and back to Henson. Henson moves to the middle. Now Searcy. Searcy guarded by Robbins and loses it, but Morgan State's able to recover. Red to Henson. Henson at the right corner gives it back to Searcy. Searcy's going to pull up from 10 feet, and that's going to hit off the front of the rim. And Amy Dilk is going to control the rebound. And ball over the top to Hillman. Hillman's going to go up, and Naz Hillman into double digits. Another fast break score for Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan's looking great, extending their lead even further. They have a 7-0 run over the last minute 39 of game time, and they're 4 of their last 5 from the field. So really looking great offensively. You said that was a big change compared to Wednesday's game. Certainly a big change against last Saturday's game versus Notre Dame.
Henson for a long 3, and that's good for Morgan State's third, and Michigan's 7-0 run halted. It's now 41-29, and Kayla Robbins trapped at the half court, gets it off to Dilk, now to Haley Brown. Hillman, the easy look, and Morgan State's high press broken with Naz Hillman up to 13 points.
Yeah, Michigan's cutting through this defense like a hot knife through butter, making these drives look easy, just headed straight to the basket right through the lane.
Searcy to Red up top. Now Red going to try and drive in on Hillman before giving it off to Henson. Henson. And foul called. I believe that's on Haley Brown.
Yeah, and with that, 2 fouls apiece. Both teams, I wouldn't be too concerned. It's already only 6 minutes left in the quarter. But definitely something to keep in mind about going into the bonus.
That was actually Kayla Robbins' second. That was on Kayla Robbins, her second. And Michigan has yet to make a substitution in the third quarter.
Yeah, no Michigan players are really in foul trouble. We got Kayla Robbins with 2, and then Haley Brown with 2 as well.
And a baseline drive and missed by Morales and rebounded by Kenray Johnson. Michigan trying to push the tempo again. Dilk's going to go to the baseline. Dilk gets it out and to Robbins at the corner, but not before she is fouled on the floor. That is foul called on Desiree Morales. And Morgan State's third, 43-29 the score, 5:42 left in the third quarter. As another substitution for Ed Davis Jr.
Michigan's 5 for the last 6 from the field.
Dilk's inbound to Brown, now to Naz Hillman. Out to Dilk at the corner, isn't going to pull up, plays it into Johnson in the low post. And Kenray Johnson goes up, and she's still perfect from the field, 5 for 5. And Morales running the offense.
Yeah, Johnson has 13 points on the afternoon. Looking great from the field and from the line.
Red's going to drive, and Red's going to go up, and a low percentage basket converts, though, over Hillman and Brown as Morgan State's now into the 30s. Amy Dilk going to drive to the free throw line, gets to a Kenray Johnson at the corner, back to Dilk, now to Haley Brown at the top. Brown for 3, and that's going to hit off the back, but offensive rebound by Robbins, and that's good. Kayla Robbins up to 9 points.
Yeah, I'm not even concerned that Michigan's taking these low percentage 3 shots because they're able to get these rebounds and get a second chance, and that's what's really important, is not leaving points on the table.
And Skripkina to Morales to Mitchell. Mitchell, the drive and jump ball called. Michigan has the possession arrow. Mitchell looked like she was trying to sell a foul call as we reach the under 5 timeout in the third quarter. 4.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Michigan up 47-31.
Yeah. And Michigan certainly looking incredible. They got a 16-point lead against Morgan State, and they are full steam ahead, pedal to the metal in this one with a bit under 15 minutes of gameplay left. Michigan just needs to keep doing what they're doing. They've done a great job limiting turnovers, done a pretty good job not committing fouls. Their rebounding has been great, as we mentioned, and their shot percentage has been pretty good with the exception of beyond the three-point arc. And it looks like we have some fan contest going on the court right now.
I think it's who can get dressed into basketball clothes the fastest.
This is really fun. I remember when I was like 5 years old, I did one of these it was then the MCI Center, but for the Washington Wizards.
Were
Always fun to see young fans do this.
Were the shoes way too big for you, too?
The shoes were size like 25.
That's ridiculous.
The pants were bigger than pants I wear now. The jersey was down to my ankles. And unfortunately, I did not win. But I still got a bobblehead for competing. It was fun.
Okay, oh dear. Now they're going to make the kids get all the way down the court and make a layup. Okay, that's a travel.
Yeah. I don't think they're comparing. Oh, it's close now.
Oh, they
Pass
get to play the pass in.
Mother, I believe, or
I think so, and neither one can make a layup. There we go.
Oh, that's fun. I always love to see the fun, especially on a Sunday game like this. Everyone's kind of groggy after yesterday's happening. It's always fun to see some games like this.
Everyone's a little sleepy.
Yes.
As the timeout still goes on. Michigan now has 2 players in double figures, Naz Hillman and Akenray Johnson. Kayla Robbins, up to 6 rebounds, leads Michigan. 3 of those rebounds have been offensive boards. Michigan cleaning up on the offensive end.
Yeah, and Robbins, even though she's doing great rebounding-wise, she's also putting up her fair share of points. She's 1 for 1 from the line, and she's has 9 points in total on the afternoon. She's doing great, and with that, I think the media timeout's about to end as the band plays some YMCA, as I'm sure you're hearing in the background.
Indeed, as Amy Dilk takes the inbound from Isabel Verajao, Michigan's first substitution of the third quarter.
Yeah, just under 5 minutes left to play in this quarter.
Dilk to Hillman at the free throw line. Hillman looking for a pass, ultimately going to play it back behind the three-point line. Now to Kayla Robbins at the top, and over the top to Verajao. Verajao puts it off the backboard and in. And now it's 49-31 as Morgan State look like they're going to try and push the tempo. Morales still running the offense.
Yeah, I can't blame them. An 18-point lead in the third quarter. If they don't change something quick, this game's going to be out of hand.
And
it was tipped by number 14, Johnson, for Michigan, but Morgan State regained possession.
And the shot clock winding down. Red pulls up and is fouled by Akenray Johnson. And Morgan State going to have an opportunity to shoot through, to shoot 2. Dania Red leads the Bears in scoring with 10.
Yeah, it looks like she was fooled a little bit by the band counting down like 5 seconds early.
When there, I would say it stayed 5 when there was actually 8.
And then now she's going to have to take 2 shots with the band directly behind the basket.
Well, the first one wasn't an issue.
It's now 49-32.
Morgan State shooting now 8 of 11 from the free throw line, 7 of 10. And the second one will go as well. Now they're 8 for 11. And Hillman plays the inbound to Dilk. 49-33 the score now.
Yeah, Michigan's doing great. They're 8 for the last 10 possessions.
And Dilk is denied by Mitchell. Now Mitchell going to drive to the free throw line, ultimately going to take it back, not going to take it all the way to the basket. And Chavis is back in the game. Chavis goes up over Robbins and gets a little shot from about 10 feet to go, and Hillman plays the quick inbound to Dilk. The lead now cut to 14. Amy Dilk is going to move left, gets to Akenray Johnson at the left corner. Johnson to the baseline. Johnson goes up, and Johnson is still perfect from the field.
Incredible. 6 for 6 on the afternoon. She has 15 total points. It's now 51-35. Michigan just keeps extending this lead.
And Donald gives it to Demeza, then back to Donald on the left, then off the screen from Red. Donald is going to drive at the top of the key, ultimately forced back behind the three-point line. Donald doubled, gets it into Red. Red pulls up from that free throw line, and that's going to hit off the back of the rim, rebounded by Kayla Robbins, her 7th. Michelle Cedar at the scorer's table, ready to come in at the next stoppage, and ball into Akenray Johnson, now to Hillman, to Verajao underneath, and she is fouled.
Yeah, Verajao's going to go to the line. This is actually her first trip to the line this afternoon, but the team as a whole is looking great. They got 13 for 16, 81 shooting percentage from the line.
These are Michigan's first free throws of the second half.
Is that so, really?
No, it's not. Verajao's first free throw is no good. Verajao now with 4 points, 2 for 3 from the field. 1 rebound to go with the freshman from Sao Paulo. Verajau's second free throw is good.
Money.
52-35 now is the score, and Chavis takes the inbound from Mitchell, and she's trapped by Cedar and Rauch, but ultimately Morgan State able to recover. Amy Dilk and Kayla Robbins to the bench, Cedar and Rauch in to replace them. Chavis to Mitchell. Mitchell's going to drive against Rauch and has it stolen by Johnson. Michigan's going to have a transition opportunity. Johnson is going to take it herself, and she misses a shot. No, she's fouled.
Yeah, lucky that she got fouled there. Going to scavenge some points, salvage some points on that possession. She had a fast break and potentially an and-one opportunity if she would have landed it. But now from the line, she's going to get 2 shots.
That foul was Chavis' third as Johnson misses the first free throw. Johnson now 3 for 5 from the free throw line and make that 4 for 6.
Yeah.
And she's up to 16 points, leads the field in scoring. And Chavis takes the quick inbound, and now Searcy forced back. Now to Chavis behind the 3-point line. Rauch tried to poke it out, but that was not going to happen. Now Chavis taking her time, shot clock at 10, deciding which way to go. And she's going to get it out to Searcy behind the 3-point line, and the pass tipped away. Red's going to pull up for a quick shot, and that's going to hit off the interior of the rim and rebounded by Isabel Verajau. Now Johnson is running the offense to Cedar. Cedar only 1 basket in the first half. Hillman to Rauch to Johnson. Rauch passed up a wide open 3. Now to Hillman at the top of the key. Hillman's going to shoot a jumper. I don't know if I'd call that a jumper because her feet never really left the ground, but it went in.
Yeah, only a step or 2 inside the 3-point arc, but
we
nothing but net on that.
Adam, we just saw Naz Hillman make a basket from outside the restricted area. That doesn't happen every day.
Yeah.
Red goes up for the layup and cancels out Naz Hillman's bucket. Under a minute left in the third quarter, 55-37. And Rauch is going to go straight to the hoop, and she cannot get it to go, but there's a fight for the rebound. Johnson gets in there, and the jump ball called. It is Morgan State possession.
But that's good that she's fighting for every possession because next time it's going to point towards Michigan.
And slight other sport update. Sad to report for all of you Philadelphia Eagles idealists, Nick Foles is terrible.
What's the score in that game?
Tampa Bay, a lot. Jacksonville, nothing.
Oof.
Nick Foles has 2 lost fumbles.
Oh,
and
wow.
Red's going to pull up for 3, and short airballs it, but cleaned up and put away by Searcy, and the foul called on Danielle Rauch. Morgan State's going to have an opportunity for an and-one with 36 seconds left in the third quarter. Michigan is now in the bonus, worth noting. Morgan State 1 foul away.
We had 2 shots awaiting us now. First one's up, and that's good.
She made that basket. That was an and-one.
Oh, so an and-one.
And Kaiser in the game for the first time in the second half. Now Rauch to Cedar. Over the top to Johnson. Barely keeps it in. Almost lost her footing. Gets it back to Rauch. Michigan will reset. Rauch forced all the way back and now trapped. Gets it off to Kaiser. Kaiser to Cedar at the corner for 3. That's good. Michigan's first 3. 55-40 now the score. 10 seconds left. Chavis gets into the half court.
Looks like last possession of the quarter. It's going to go to Morgan State.
2 seconds left. Chavis puts it up, tries to beat the buzzer, and she cannot. It does not go down. Michigan has a strong third quarter, extends the lead by 10. The score now 58-40 in favor of the Wolverines.
Big 18-point lead. This is going to be very tough for Morgan State. Looks like they're finally clicking on all sides of the play. Not giving up any turnovers, not surrendering easy layups and rebounds, fighting for every possession. I really love to see them do this. And it's going to be really tough with only 10 minutes to play to come back. Certainly not impossible. I've seen much worse. but it is looking pretty good for the Michigan Wolverines.
As the Flying T-shirts make their first appearance of the second half.
Yeah.
And stoppage of play before the fourth quarter. Akenray Johnson scored 9 points in that quarter. She now has scored 16 for the game, the senior captain from Toledo. And because of fouls, still remains perfect from the field.
Yeah.
Although slightly less so from the free throw line, shooting 4 for 6.
Still very impressive, though, for the Michigan player.
Naz Hillman is up to 15 points herself, including a made jump shot.
Yeah.
That's something that she has admitted in the past that she shies away from.
Certainly a bit of a struggle for her. But in games like this, when your team's up by 16 and it's a non-conference play, I think this is a perfect opportunity to try stuff like that.
And Kayla Robbins, the next highest Michigan scorer behind Johnson and Hillman with 9 points. And Robbins also leads the team in offensive rebounds with 3 and total rebounds with 7. We may, for this fourth quarter, depending on how much she plays, put Kayla Robbins on double-double watch.
Yeah, possibly. Certainly not out of the question.
And now the cheerleaders have deserted the floor, so suggests that we will be seeing some basketball soon. Once again, we'd like to thank you for listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan women's basketball here at the Crisler Center in a somewhat empty Crisler Center, as Michigan, an opportunity to get out to 5-1, or 6-1 on the season, looks pretty good right now. And
lots of Michigan alum in attendance, lots of young children with their parents. I would imagine they came into town for yesterday's game. Glad to see them coming out and supporting some of the non-revenue sports as well.
Kayla Robbins making way for Priscilla Smingy to start this fourth quarter. Michelle Sedor at the corner moves back inside. Sedor to Verajao. Verajao goes to the baseline. Verajao to Smingy from the corner, and that cannot go. That would not have been a 3, though. She was inside.
Yeah.
And now Sedor's going to pull up. That's a men's basketball 3, and that's good.
Oh. Look at that. Michigan, I guess it just takes an 18-point lead to finally begin clicking on your three-point shots.
Or just a courageous freshman from New Jersey.
Yeah.
As Michigan conceding an open look. I think that was Chavis, but it cannot go. But Searcy is going to recover the offensive rebound. Excuse me, that is Morales. Now Chavis at the top. Michigan in a bit of a 2-3 zone. And the pull-up from the 3 off the backboard. And rebounded by Isabel Verajao, but Morgan State's fighting for it. That was McCullough's shot. McCullough 1 foul away from being forced to exit. Sedar from the baseline, the running floater, and airballs it rebounded by, I believe that was McCullough. No, that was Searcy, but she was fouled by Isabel Verajao. Verajao now up to 2 fouls. Still no concern there for Michigan foul trouble-wise. Chavis runs the offense. And now Morales, McCullough to Chavis. Chavis at the top, gives it to Morales. Morales to McCullough on the right corner. McCullough guarded by Rauch. McCullough to Mitchell. And now it's Searcy to drive, and Searcy gets it off the back of the rim. Mitchell, the offensive rebound, can't get it to go. Rebounded by Danielle Rauch.
And it looks like Michigan's finally going to slow down the pace of play, milk out the rest of this clock as much as they can.
8 minutes left.
It's a shame, in my opinion, because the fast-paced offense was really working wonders for them earlier in this game.
Verajao to Kaiser. Kaiser's going to go up, and Emily Kaiser's going to get her first bucket of the game. 63-40 now. Michigan piling on a little bit with just under 8 minutes remaining in the game. Chavis up top running the offense. Chavis now to McCullough to Mitchell. I don't think Mitchell has had a seat this second half. And ball stolen by Michelle Sedor. Fast break opportunity. Sedor is going to take it all the way to the hoop, and that's going to go. Michelle Sedor now has 10 points. 8 of which in the second half.
Very nice. You mentioned Mitchell. She has 30 minutes in the game, leading either team with play. Pretty impressive on a game like this at an away game. And for those listening in, we have a few home games coming up, and WCBN will be covering. We have Syracuse on later this week on Thursday. Then we have a week from today, Oakland, also a home game. And then 2 weeks from yesterday, Appalachian State. All of those are home games, and all of those will be covered by WCBN. Is WCBN covering this New Year's Eve game?
To be determined.
Okay. On the schedule, Michigan's women's basketball team is playing Penn State on December 31st at 2 p.m. Stay tuned on whether WCBN will provide live coverage of that one.
Yes, but we'll be going on that day is WCBN Sports coverage of the Great Lakes Invitational at Little Caesars Arena in downtown Detroit. On that day, it will be the second day of the GLI. Will be Alex Drain and myself covering Michigan hockey. That tournament, I believe this year it is Michigan, Michigan State, Ferris State, and Michigan Tech.
That should be a lot of fun. I'm not following hockey too much. How does Michigan compare to those other teams?
Michigan has already lost 2 to Michigan State. They haven't played the others. Michigan hockey, a really rough start to the season, including a 3-2 loss in Madison last night to the Badgers.
Rough.
But things not going well for Mel Pearson's men to start the season, but
I guess last night was a good day all around for the Badgers.
Indeed, but as the Badgers reclaimed Paul Bunyan's axe after losing it for the first time in a decade and a half. But no doubt, if you listen to WCBN Sports Michigan Hockey Podcast, the Yost Cast, things look very good down the road for this Michigan hockey program.
Yeah.
As 7:18 left, the timeout is concluded.
The men's basketball team's looking really great. They're undefeated to start the team, have 3 ranked wins, including 2 top 10 wins.
Indeed, a great start would be an understatement. They play Louisville on the road on Tuesday. That's
I'll be driving out there for that one. I'm not too optimistic, but it should be fun.
Chavis to McCullough. McCullough the baseline, McCullough the floater, and that hits every part of the rim before finally going down. Kaiser plays the inbound to Rauch.
It's now 42-65, Michigan ahead with 7 minutes left in the game.
Kaiser back to Rauch, over the top to Haley Brown, and Haley Brown is fouled. That was by Chavis. That's Chavis's 4th. She's going to have to be careful.
And Brown's 2 for 2 from the line. Let's see what she could make of this.
Haley Brown lucky, though, that she was fouled. That shot went off the bottom of the backboard.
Yeah.
Brown's first free throw is good.
So able to recoup some of those points. Second shot is awaiting us from Brown. It's up. No good off the front of the rim.
Haley Brown now 3 for 4 from the free throw line. The rebound by Chavis, under 7 minutes to go. Chavis, McCullough. McCullough gives it to Red, who's back in the game. Now Red, and long 3 from Chavis will not go, and rebounded by Emily Kaiser in traffic. Going to get it off to Priscilla Spingy.
Kaiser's having a pretty good game so far. That's her second rebound on only 9 minutes.
Spingy to Rauch on the right side. Now Kaiser at the top. Kaiser looking for an outlet pass. Now gives it to Spingy on the right side. Spingy moves inside, pulls up from about 18 feet. That one will not go off the front of the rim. And rebounded by Chavis. Fast break opportunity for Morgan State. Chavis has a pass deflected, but it falls to Mitchell. Mitchell to Chavis up top. Chavis is going to move to her right. Now off the screen from Red. Now Mitchell cuts to the baseline. Mitchell's going to pull up from about 8 feet, and that one is good to go. Inbound played to Danielle Rauch, under 6 minutes now in this game.
Yeah, Michigan's lead still pretty large with a 66-44 stat line.
Cedar running the offense now to Haley Brown at the top. Brown to Smingy. Now Emily Kaiser at the top. Thought about shooting a 3, ultimately decides against it. Now Cedar at the corner. Cedar is going to pull up for 3, and that's her 3rd.
Can't believe it. Michigan is lights out from beyond the arc the past like 5 minutes. It's incredible.
It has literally only been Michelle Sedor. And Chavis gives it to McCullough. Now Mitchell. Back to Chavis on the left side. Maddie Nolan moving over to the scorer's table. Chavis to Red. Excuse me, that is Mitchell. Mitchell moves inside. Mitchell's going to pull up for the long two. That one isn't going to go. But rebounded, though, by Red, and the easy bucket for Dania Red. Now, ball over the top from Rauch to Spingy. Spingy now to Haley Brown, to Kaiser in the post. Tries to get it out to Sedor, but tapped away out of bounds. And we're at the under 5 timeout. 4:45 left in regulation. Michigan still up 23-69 to 46.
Yeah, against Morgan State, this game is getting more and more out of hand as time progresses. And Michigan has possession, potentially able to extend their lead even further.
And actually, they're not going to do an under 5 timeout. Haley Brown's going to pull up for 3 off the assist from Sedor, and how does that one not go in?
Yeah, I think that's more of a heat check than anything else.
McCullough gives it to Donald. Donald, Michigan running that 2-3 zone again. Red to Donald. And 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Donald moves out to the left. Forced out now to McCullough at the top. And McCullough almost has it stolen, but recovered by Morales. And Mitchell under the basket.
And one.
Is fouled and able to make the layup. And Mitchell is now going to shoot 2.
Very athletic play right there from Mitchell. And Mitchell today, she's 2 for 2 from the line, and she has 10 points.
Mitchell takes the ball, is going to have to shoot it directly into the band.
Yeah.
Mitchell's first free throw, or the end one, cannot go. The rebound by Emily Kaiser. Now Sedor. Michigan gets numbers forward, but Sedor forced back. Great transition defense by Mitchell. Sedor gets it to Maddie Nolan, who has entered the game.
This is Nolan's second appearance in the game today. She had 6 minutes in the first half.
Spingy just to the right. Now Haley Brown for the free throw line. Over the top into Kaiser. She's fouled and makes the layup.
Gonna go to the line. Her first trip to the line this afternoon. Michigan extends their lead even further, showing no mercy at 71-48.
Still only a 23-point lead, though. Stayed that way for a while now.
Yeah. And with 3 minutes, 37 seconds, you've got to say this game is all but over.
Lana Skripkina re-enters the game. There is no information on Morgan State's team page about Lana Skripkina.
Oh, really?
None.
I wonder if she might be a walk-on or a recent addition.
It doesn't even say where she is from. As McCullough gives it to Morales. It's a bit surprising that neither Chavis nor McCullough have fouled out despite heavy minutes in the second half. McCullough goes up and airballs it, rebound by Maddie Nolan. And Nolan going to try and push it up herself, defended by Mitchell. Now trapped at half court, and it's going to be stolen. No, both players are going to go to ground. Maddie Nolan called for the foul.
Yeah, with 3 minutes, 11 seconds, Michigan is ahead 72-48. And Morgan State's going to get the inbound pass. Donald. And it's in. Takes it out by the key for Morgan State is Donald.
Donald moves to her left. And Donald now going to drive all the way in, blocked by Kaiser. And now 2-0. Nolan. Mitchell gets back, and Mitchell. Great play to save the easy layup for Sedor, but it's out of bounds. Michigan basketball, 2:55 left.
Yeah, definitely exhibiting her speed right there, but Nolan had a good steal and tried to pass it out to Sedor, but just not quite quick enough. Inbound pass in the paint.
Sedor gets it all the way back out to Brown. Now Nolan. Nolan to Smingy at the corner, inside to Kaiser. Kaiser to a crossing Haley Brown, and that's going to go. Michigan up 26 as Donald takes the quick inbound from McCullough. 2.5 minutes to go. The score 74-48. McCullough or excuse me, that's Donald. Gives it to Skripkina. Skripkina wants that over-the-top entry pass, won't go, and now plays a bounce pass into Red. Red somehow doesn't get it stolen, and ball pops up in the air to McCullough. McCullough is going to pull up for three, and that's off the front of the rim, but an offensive rebound by Red. Now into McCullough. McCullough, and
I believe
Kaiser goes down, and they call a charge.
Yeah.
That's McCullough's fifth, and her day is done.
With 2 minutes, 12 seconds, and a team up by this much, I don't blame her coach for not benching her, for not taking her out. And she's a great player, but I don't think her services are going to be needed for Morgan State the rest of this game.
And Dania Red goes to the bench. Her day may also be done. Cedar to Nolan. Nolan gives it to Haley Brown. Over the top to Kaiser, and Kaiser can't get it to go. Sminky almost gets the offensive rebound. And that's going to go out of bounds, though. Is Michigan going to retain possession? Yes, they are.
Yeah, it seems like this half all chances are falling towards Michigan.
Cedar inbound to Nolan. Nolan's going to pull up for a quick three, and that's off the front of the rim, rebounded by Mitchell. Transition opportunity for Morgan State. Mitchell going to get it, and the shot for three from Lorne isn't going to go, and the rebound by Nolan. Now Cedar. Mitchell trying to play for the trap, but ultimately Morgan State going to lay off. And now Sminky from the corner for three. That's good.
Money. So now we have two players on the Michigan team who have made a shot from beyond the three-point arc.
And most of those threes are coming from behind the men's three-point line.
Yeah.
Of course, rule change before this season. The three-point line for college men's basketball was moved back a couple feet. I believe it is now, yes, it is now NBA length.
That makes sense. Like, NCAA is like a farm system for the NBA. There's no reason it should be different.
Yeah.
I understand in high school because, like, very few high school players are going to go to college and very few are ever going to make the NBA. But, like, for the NCAA, especially D1, high chance that a lot of these players are going to see some NBA time.
And women's basketball still using the old three-point distance, just a couple feet inside from the NBA length. As
did you foresee them making a change in the future?
No, because does the WNBA length use, which length does the WNBA use?
Let me see. I'll look that up.
I don't see it. It's not improbable, but I don't think I see it. As Michigan's players, Ed Davis called a timeout, but Michigan's players never even really left the floor. Now,
okay. So I don't know if this is updated, but according to Wikipedia, NBA 23 9 inches, FIBA, WNBA, and D1 men's is 22 feet.
Okay, that's the difference right there.
Yeah.
As Bumbray to Donald to Lawhorn. Lawhorn to Donald. Donald loses the ball, stolen by Haley Brown. And now a minute 10 left in the game. 77-48, Michigan pushing a 30-point lead. Michelle Cedar slowing it down, though. Now Nolan. Kaiser wants it, gets it to Sminky. Cedar from a diagonal three, and that's good.
Incredible.
Michelle Cedar now up to 16 points. Michigan on an 11-0 run.
I would say she's player of the game today. Just even though she didn't really start making her shots until the game was already out of hand, just has really kept the momentum up and shut this door tight on Morgan State.
Chavis up top to Donald. Donald going to move inside before being forced back. Now Donald for a long three, trying to answer, cannot go, rebounded by Cedar.
And with 25 seconds, this will likely be the last possession of the game.
The shot clock is off, and looks like Michelle Cedar is just going to hold the ball, and Michigan content for a victory here as 11 seconds remaining.
Yeah.
But this game is over. Michigan will head into the week with a 32-point victory over Morgan State, 80-48. Three Michigan players with at least 15 points. Kenray Johnson and Michelle Cedar each with 16. Naz Hillman with 15. The starters, save Haley Brown, did not even need to play in the fourth quarter. A great effort by Kim Barnes-Arico's team on this Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. For a game like this, coming home after Thanksgiving, going into a tough game on Thursday, it's couldn't have gone better. That first quarter was a bit rocky, but Michigan made the necessary adjustments, and it paid dividends for them.
As Michigan wrapping up, the fans leaving the Crisler Center here, and that will do it here for WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan basketball. For Zach Corson and Adam Bressler, my name is Nick Hornberg. Shout out to Gretel Payne for handling our social media for today. And that will do it for today. Be sure to tune in for WCBN Sports coverage of various Michigan athletics for this month of December as it goes on. Have a great day, everybody. And as always, go blue. The final score from the Crisler Center, Michigan 80, Morgan State 48.